Dan here, the Speed Shop. Man, this car looks good, eh? A little bit of trim. It's like the People's 57 now with all the trim. All I had to do was buy it to save a dog and work countless hours on it, and you guys take all the glory with a little bit of trim on there. Anyways, I appreciate it. So today, all this is just kind of sitting here, I'm not gonna lie, but it looks nice. So I've tracked down a bunch of miscellaneous trim myself and all sorts of bits and pieces. And when I got the car, it came with these really ratty seats. I think they're Pontiac, and it's got a Pontiac seat in the back, which actually worked out good because when we mini tubbed it, we kind of need the room. So I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm just going to start putting, part of me just wants to keep putting trim on so the car looks right, but that's really not the smart way of doing it.
Is trim the new wheels and tire?
I also bought wheels for this thing, and I ordered tires. I love wheels and tires, and 57 Chevy needs its trim. So that's coming down the pipe, but realistically I should force myself into interior. So where we left this thing, I actually have a lot more done than I had thought. So we got a new floor pan in it, it's got all new rockers and all that. It has a tilt column. That's actually a bezel, which actually is all nice and mint. Mer got for me at the swap meet, I think, last year or somewhere. So it's pretty cherry, so that's cool. But there's not a stitch of wiring in the car. And yeah, what you see is what you get. Now, I've done some stupid things. This thing's been gone for a little bit, so I thought maybe I'd just do a little walk around. But I was obsessed with, I want to do, this is heavy, an LS, but I want a tunnel ram. So we got a couple FST carbs coming. And I had these big block Chevy fender well headers. And I heard that you could just kind of weld on a set of LS flanges onto big block Chevy headers, which you can. It was a little bit of work. We got them on there. Unfortunately, I'm going to put this down. Watch your pretty fingers. Unfortunately, where they dump out is right where the e-brake wants to be, and on this side where the cab mount is, or the body mount. So I do need to modify that. But the e-brake on these things is absolutely stupid. It's a pull handle umbrella style, like a pull and turn, which runs a cable to the firewall through two different little pulley things and then back. All that's been deleted. So we got to put like a pull style e-brake in it, which is actually very simple because we'll just do two lines out, make a horseshoe, and it'll be done. My Cobra had that, so I went and bought one off Amazon. The theme of this car has been as cheap as possible. I'm not gonna lie, I've spent a few dollars, but this was El Cheapo, so we're gonna make this fit. With that, we also gotta put a shifter in. I've had this sitting on the couch for a while, the storage couch at home. Just El Cheapo.
You wanna know how long it's been there since?
Christmas.
Before that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I only bought this thing in the fall, so it's...
Yeah, October.
Okay, so October, November. You gotta have them. These have not gotten any cheaper, I tell you. This drives me nuts. When I was buying these, this was the cheapest one. They were $199. Now they're like $369. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I did that. I also found a whole bunch of body mounts while I was cleaning up the car, which makes me think this thing is not properly bolted to the chassis. All this is miscellaneous trim, which was either donated, came with the Nomad, or I just had. So a lot of it's inside trim, corner trim for the windows, front trim. There's just miscellaneous stuff. And actually, I opened up the trunk and there's more stuff in here. This thing came with a bunch of junk. So we have tail lights, kind of stuff like that. I mean, I don't even know what these are. Regulators off something. All sorts of miscellaneous. So we got to kind of go through and just remember where I am. So I'm thinking to start putting the interior together, we have to have the shifter and the e-brake in, because the carpet can't move once those are in, right? Then we can move on, make these seats fit into something. I don't know what I'm going to have to do there, make some brackets to them, which is fine.
Are we going to clean them first?
Well, that's original mold. We can clear coat over it. Well, yeah, we'll wipe it down. So I got to build some brackets for that. We can put the seats in. Then I got ordered up like a legitimate wiring harness for this thing. So this has been sitting in the car forever, and you can tell, you know it's good because that's the part number. So I've put in a pile of these cheapy wiring harnesses, and you know, I was talking to one of the painless guys. They support Power Tour. I love that. And they're like, you know what? Try one of these out. So I was like, okay. Ordered one up, and it looks Well, way better, not gonna lie. So we're gonna try to put that in. It's a 18 circuit or something. It's their base model one. Yeah, basic customizable chassis harness. So we're gonna try that, slap that in there, see if it's any better. I mean, they do care a little bit more than China. So we'll get that in. Now, realistically, there's very little wiring that's gonna go under the carpet, but I do wanna put that in there before we lock that all down. Obviously, just rear tail lights, backup lights, and fuel sender, I guess, would be the only thing. Does this thing have a fuel tank in it? It must. Oh yeah, I feel it. So yeah, I gotta do that. And then I spent money. This is like, I spent more money in the last little bit on stuff than I have the whole car. I bought a set of brand new sill plates because these always are rotten out. And then I have a new ignition and stuff like that. So you get that dialed. I think the fuel system's run. I actually saw brake lines, so I think it might be plumbed. Maybe they didn't bleed them, or I don't know what. So that's dialed. The steering works.
You could probably find out if you watched the video.
That guy's a hack. Who would watch that crap? Thank you for subscribing. So that's the plan today. Just a schmozzle of putting stuff together inside. Ultimately, it's going to hopefully have an interior and the wiring kind of laid out. And then slowly but surely, we'll just start working on wiring, putting tail lights, headlights in, electrical under the hood, and then, oh, fuel pump. I got to run a big fuel pump because this thing has an electric fuel pump on it. Yeah, it must have a tank, so I put an electric fuel pump in it. Maybe I shouldn't work on so many things at once and just finish something for once. But look at the flippers.
You know who would love like shining up all this trim?
Mervert. It's March Murdness, whatever we're calling it, on Facebook. Go check us out. Okay, I'm gonna get dialed together and keep working. Okay, so I'm just kind of laying some stuff out here to see what's gonna fit. I kind of put the seat about there. This is typically where I like to run them. Well, in a sedan, I like it where my noggin's kind of right where the pillar is about that. So there's really no room for anybody in the back seat. That means old long legs will fit. But these seats are pretty big. They're, you know, the old balloon seat. So I kind of center it up in the steering wheel so it's cockeyed a little, but I mean it's, you know, it's behind the wheel, so that's good. I pulled the carpet up and I put the e-brake lever in. Now I've never really put one of these in, so it's a little tight to the seat. But if you put it right in the center, well, that's where the drive shaft's going to go. So I don't really want that. So I was thinking, we'll put it there. I got to build a little spacer there. I just got one bolt holding it, but I mean it works. It just rubs the seat a little bit, so I can either heat this up with a torch and move it over, or live with it. And underneath, definitely rubs the seat a little bit there. Underneath, this little arm goes straight down. Same thing, I can bend that away from the drive shaft if I have to. So all I did was I drilled 2 holes, and I ran a little the zip cut in, made a little line there. So pretty simple. Yeah, I'll probably end up just bending that over and it'll be just fine. And then the shifter will go up here. We'll get set up, we'll put that in right quick. I always just use, oh, Danny's here's lunchtime.
Yeah.
So after lunch, I'll put that shifter in. Pretty simple, I'll just self-tap her in there and get that dialed. This is my only real concern. That fit good. We can make the seats fit good. And
who are you talking to?
we're cruising.
Who's in there?
Yep. That's how I like them. Bright. See you after lunch. All right, so, oh God. Ow. So I got the seat kind of where I want it. Ish. Ooh, that. Whoops. I'm gonna rip that a little. So it's pretty comfy. You might go back just a little, but we gotta get our shifter where we want it. There's no gas pedal. Oh, it has brakes. Man, okay. So now the plan is self-tamper this thing. Supposed to kind of nut and bolt it, but that is lame. So see, you want to go left first, so you get through the carpet, then center home, and it'll tear everything up. Oh yeah, there we go. Damn it. You know, Mortsky told me if you run these backwards, you don't tear up the carpet. Yeah, here we are. tearing up the carpet. Oh, I tore it right up the front here. You know, laziness bites me every time. You know, you watch that vice grip guy, and he's always heating up a pin or an owl. Is it owl? Whatever, and burning through. I like doing this and hating my life every... Oh, what the... Okay, now that I got that pesky line of carpet out of the way. Boom. In friggin' installed. So we'll jam between 3 and 4 bolts in this thing, and then we'll have to drill a hole in the floor probably about there for the shifter cable to go through. I don't think I'll install the cable right this second because I don't want to get under the car and deal with it. So let's see if we can just kind of get away with a couple of these. Okay, shifter's in, so now we're going to move to the seats. I took this one apart to see how it goes. So I want to drop the seats as low as I possibly can up. Bit of a tall guy. And the lower I can go and the further back, especially in this thing, the hardtops, Nomads, the roof line's a little bit lower in the sedan. So I want to be as low as I can. So these had some sort of a rinky-dink spacer on them. And so I just kind of cut that all out. Took tracks apart, cleaned them, put them back together. So they work okay. They're twisted up and kind of bent, and they're free seats. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put this back together. Then what I have to do, the track has nothing to attach to it. So I got some scrap steel. The front on the inside, so on the driver's side it would be the right, and on the passenger side would be the left. It fits flat on the floor, so I'll just put a piece of flat bar on it just so it sticks out that much to hold it. These 3 here will all need some sort of spacer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some angle iron and weld it just to give it a little bit more strength. Obviously angle has a lot more, and then we'll drill holes and all that. And we'll have to do some pedestals, wherever we have to do to make the seat fit flat, which is always a bit of screwing around, but such is life. Hopefully I have some square tubing or round tubing somewhere. And actually, I don't know if I have any long bolts or all thread rod. We got to figure some way to mount it, but that's kind of irrelevant. As long as the seats fit in there, we can screw out the seats down the road. I just want to make sure we can make these work. And I think we will. So now I'm going to set the camera up. I'm going to grind down a little bit, move everything back, cut some stuff, tack it all together, and see how it'll sit in the car. I do have high hopes. I always have high hopes. I wonder if I should just... Nah. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll see how it'll work after. Tri-5 seats are always a hassle. I've said it 1,000 times. But the floor isn't flat. It's raised here, and then slowly but surely you can see this, you know, where my thumb is, it drops down. So if you're bolting over here and back here, it's lower than it is up there and there. So hassle. They're meant for bench seats, and they have the provision right here for the bench seat to be bolted on this flat bit, and they're only supported here, 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 and that, and the whole center just floats. Well, I do have a bench seat, a really nice one, but we're not putting in this hot rod because we have to do the e-brake, and we have to, if you do a bench seat with a ratchet shifter, it has to be right up at the front, and it looks stupid. So we're gonna hot rod it. See how this turns out. So there we have it. Ugly, perfectly ugly. Now, you gotta bear in mind what will happen if something we'll just use this as an EG. There will be a spacer like that going on these 3 corners. So that's why we have the angle iron, just to give it a little more strength. And then this one is going to be right flat on the floor, because there's a nice flat part we can drill through and nut and bolt. It's crooked, it's whatever. I welded on the sides, and then I drilled some holes and kind of ugly plug welded them all together. It's far from perfect, but perfect from afar. And ultimately, I think it's very strong. So let's now set this thing in there, see if it's a little bit lower. Even though we're adding a spacer, what we're doing is you have to pretend the frame itself is going to be as low as it can go on this corner. The problem is the floor is actually going to be lower in these areas. So even though we're going to use a spacer, you have to, keep in mind, before it was spacing the seat away from the track. What we're doing now is with the track as low as it'll go on the floor, but because the floor is odd, we have to space the floor up to the track. So it will be lower by this much. Okay, so we got this side all dialed together. She looks good. Seat, we're talking seats. Danny's been inside playing video games. But come around here, look how good this seat fits now on the other side to look in. So I moved it back slightly. It's sitting on those little spacers I put on, so it needs a few more spacers. I don't have any long bolts, but it's a little farther back. But now I fit it. It feels like a really nice driving position. Shifter's good. This we have to tweak just a little bit. Move it over, or I can move the seat actually over. Well, it's actually probably where I want the seat to be. So yeah, it worked out good. These seats are a disaster though. I'm gonna have to tape them or something like that. We'll have to get some white. Do they have white duct tape?
I'm sure they do.
Must be able to get that. We gotta do a little, clean that up a little bit. But so that's where we're gonna leave the seats for now, because I don't have any long bolts. We'll get some tomorrow maybe. But I think what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna lay out that wiring harness, see what it looks like, and maybe just try routing it a little bit, because really nothing else is going to be moving. Like, see what has to go under the hood and how bulky the thing is and where we can mount it under the dash. The factory one's up in the corner, so we should have lots of room, but it should be pretty simple. It's coming together. I'm excited we're working on this thing again. Okay, so painless. They give you butt connectors. People give me attitude about butt connectors, but they don't solder and heat shrink. I've got mixed feelings on that in the past. I feel like when you heat it up really good, you solder it and all that, you have that hard bit of solder, and then everything else is a weak point right beside it. So I like butt connectors with heat shrink.
Butt connectors.
This thing has alternator charge wire. Are you coming closer? So this is all stuff that doesn't come in the other kit. You got to buy that, which, I mean, the price of wire is excessive. Headlight switch stuff. That's cool. Miscellaneous. So the big thing when you're buying any wiring harness, as far as I'm concerned, this one has this connector right here. That's your generic GM universal, typically wiring connector for the tilt for the column. So if you have that, you're set. Oh, this comes in different bits. That's kind of cool. Dimmer switch selector. See, on the other one, everything on those Chinese ones is wrapped through the wiring harness, which isn't the end of the world, but you have to kind of disconnect it because everything goes where where it is to the harness, then to where you want to go, versus you can just run it, the dimmer switch, however you want. Engine selection. Or engine section. Guess I could have read that right. Whatever. But yeah, everything here should be all labeled up and everything. Oh yeah, charge wire. What is this? I put paintless wiring every 3 seconds. They're pretty proud of it. So it looks pretty simple. Oh, tail lights. So everything is just kind of ready to go, and you can kind of make your own deal. That's kind of nice, and I think it's way longer than you need, obviously, so that's handy. Honestly, this is probably all we need to put in, and the rest we can just kind of do ourselves. So this kit here is you terminate it all yourself, which I wanted to try, because again, the other ones all come kind of terminated, and it just never ever works out. Honestly, they say what it is, and it is never that. You have to run friggin' test wires and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Wiring always looks intimidating. I realize people always are scared of that stuff, but it's really not that bad. So these are, oh yeah, so start, charge, ignition. So it's all pretty simple. Holy moly, look at the friggin', this is the installation manual. You want to see what the installation manual is? Not a Chinese one? If it has it. Yeah, that's it. So there you go. So I'm gonna lay this out in the car. We'll see exactly what it's gonna look like. I just gotta run the wire under the carpet and all that for the tail lights, because that's where they are in Tri-5s. Not that it really matters. And then the power wire to the fuel pump, it's actually on the other side. I'll probably run it, well, you know what? I'll see if this has a provision for that. If it does, we'll use a wire. Otherwise, I'll just run it underneath after the fact. So I have to do reading.
I didn't know you could read.
It's madness. I know, I'm pretty smart though, eh? Okay, so I'm gonna get this laid out and we'll see what all it looks like. Okay, so I'm just about to kind of start putting this in the car, and we'll do some fast motion stuff, but it's different than the other kits I've used. So what this one is there's a lot more terminating your own ends, which is actually nice because it keeps the wiring harness simple for what I'm using it for. Versus the other one's like an all-in-one deal. I cut stuff out of that left and right, or I'll do a little mark. I'm using wiper blade power for, you know, something else or whatever, because we have vacuum wipers or whatever it may be if we put electric wipers in. This thing is almost like a modular kind of put-together deal. So the flashers are in the bag, but we have our flasher, you know, four-way and turn, or vice versa, I don't know what it is. Horn relay. Then we have our 2 banks of fuses. But what's kind of neat about that is the right side is switched and the left side is constant. And that was an endless issue for the other one. It was just random crap everywhere trying to figure out what was what. So in this one here, this is gauge power. That's for choke if you use it. Wipers and turn signals, and alternator exciter. Then over here we have our radio. Well, that's also radio. Radio constant, hazards, headlights, horn, and brake lights. So that's pretty cool. That all says that. Now I'm going to skip to the back because that's what we're working on. And it gives you a couple different options for like little sticky notes and stuff too. What kind of brakes you want, or what kind of tail section. This is the standard. They also have a fancy one. So if you had, like we're running all in one, so the brake light is also the turn signal, but in, I guess, newer stuff maybe, or import stuff, you would have the turn signal would be like an amber bulb and the brake light would be red, so they would work differently. But that's obviously what we're going to do here. So it's a pretty simple deal. A brown wire, a green wire, we're not running a third brake light, a yellow wire, and that's, oh, and then the pink wire is for the sender. So I know it looks like a rat's nest here, because I just have it all zapped together, but brown is going to be our park lights, pink is sender, and then left and right turn. So we'll snake this all the way back, and this is all the wiring that's going to go through the car. Then the rest can kind of sit under the carpet and, you know, into the dash. And we don't have to put the whole harness in if we don't want to right now, which is kind of handy. And yeah, so it's got that broke down, headlight switch, under hood, so that'll be your charge wire, solenoid start, all that kind of stuff. And this will be everything under the dash and controlling whatever it has to. So it's different. I got to get used to it, but I got to say it's definitely better quality. You can just feel it that it's better. But if I run those wires to the back, then we can, start trimming the floor, start working on mounting the seats properly. Really, there's no need to have to go back in there because it's just gonna be wire running to the back. And you know that plug I was talking about? Well, here's the male end. So this is your standard GM column stuff. So we'll have to terminate the other end with our power, but obviously power is going to come in. You also have your horn and stuff. But the turn signal switch, it controls everything. It controls your brake lights and your turn signal, because obviously if you're turning and you have the brakes on, you want the turn signal to override the brake light. So people know even though you're slowing down, you're still turning, right? Took me a long time to kind of figure that out. I know a lot of people kind of hate wiring, it's daunting and it's terrible and all that. And I hear you. It's not my favorite thing to do whatsoever. So we'll see if having a higher quality kit makes life a little easier. So far seems better. And ultimately just tackle it, get in there, start going. I'm going to put all new connections, all new light bulb stuff. I'm not screwing around with anything. Well, I say that because I don't have anything. So let's see if we can get this lined up in there. Okay, so I ran the wire to the back, so that's sitting there, and then we just have it kind of curled up. There, I got the e-brake all dialed together, so I'm happy with that. Honestly, that's not very much wiring, but that's kind of where I'm going to end, because you know what you need to, with wiring, you need places for the wire to go to, and I have no headlights, no tail lights, no HVAC in the thing. We do have the column, we can work on that. But ultimately I want to do more under the hood. I also have to figure out how this LS motor gets wired up. So there's all that. But now what I want to do, switch gears yet again. I want to try and mash all this trim on here. So I have some front window trim. We have some back trim. Unfortunately, the window seal is pretty buggered. So we're just going to kind of put a little bit of urethane, window urethane in there, kind of scoosh that in there. Same with all this stuff. Like there's just no, there's nothing left. They use the special clips, which of course this car doesn't have anymore. They kind of just pop in. Nothing has anything. So that might just be glued on for the time being. I brought in a pair of bumpers, the right amount of beat. These have been outside for a while. This one was actually froze right in the ground. That's like leaves. That's how you know it's been there for a while. So let those defrost. Put the bumpers on, front and back. Under the hood here, I got to nut and bolt the fenders on a little better. They're all kind of sitting there, so they need to be a little more precise. And then I want to put hood pins on the hood for sure. I don't know if I'm going to put any here. These might just be for show. Let's be honest, it already has the hole there, but it is bolted. And on the bottom here, we might figure something out. I don't know exactly what it looks like, so we'll have to crank the heat and unfortunately get down low, but I'd kind of like to do that. And then I think I have some window trim. I just kind of put this on there, so we'll kind of put that all on, make the trim go in there. I got to make a bunch of little pieces to hold the trim on, but it'll be like a legitimate, trimmed out 57 Chevrolet, which looks awesome. And I think the front bumper will be nice on it. I don't think I have a grill. I got to find that. So again, we're just kind of, it's amazing how fast, how long it takes to collect parts and how fast they go out. So yeah, let's see what we can do to get this window trim in here. It'll be something. Okay, this here, is all of the wrong tools to put in the wrong broken trim. So factory Trap Wrap Chevrolet trim, in fact, goes in with the rubber. Now, the rubber here is basically missing. So we're gonna go ahead and glue it in with a little bit of window urethane. Window urethane does it all. And actually in here, I want to make sure I kind of get a little bit so it doesn't rattle. And we don't want any wind noise, right? So the idea is it's supposed to kind of fit in the trim. I don't know if the back's the same, the front is anyways, where it all kind of, you know, grabs together. Now, you may think this is butchery. We're also going to use a hammer to put it in. But if you guys are a fan of Motor Trend shows, my close personal friend David Newburn, his Trailer Queen 57 Chevrolet, the back window is taped in. So, I don't know why that matters, but okay. Guess we should just get the corner in first. Well, it actually went in very easily. I was hoping it would kind of have to, yeah, there we go, like that. There we go. Oof. We'll make sure we give it a good blast here so it's really stuck, you know. This one is all bent to crap, but, oh, there we go. That went nice. Oh, it's kind of right there. You know what I could probably do is I could glue it in and then put a clamp on it, because that is how you install trim with DD's Speed Shop. I need a clamp and I need a window regulator or handle. That should hold. It's like I can feel the comments coming in already, you know? So we're gonna do that. Oh, you know what else I'm gonna do while we're on this side? So this side has their, I don't know if they're threaded or not, but they're kind of like those Christmas tree style deals, but metal, you know, like the pins. There's supposed to be little pins in there, which obviously we don't have. But if we just jam it full of this, it'll kind of hold it. And then maybe we just give the side a little shellacking too. I mean, hopefully this doesn't affect the patina too bad. Probably should have maybe wiped this down, but yeah. Okay, put that in there, put that in there. Get the excess. Oh yeah. Oh, I love old hot rods. You know, I know everyone wants to have nice stuff and all that, and I hear you. One of these days I'll have a nice car. I should put some weight on this maybe too. But hot rods are supposed to be fun, and this is fun. Oh, I forgot to move the camera back. I really butchered this one in, but don't worry, all this window urethane will hold it in there real nice. It's probably a little bit thinner on there and see if I can get some of it off. Wow, I butchered that, but yeah, it's in there. There you go, all cleaned up. No one can even tell it was completely butchered together. There's some little corner pieces. I think I have some somewhere. Worst case, we'll glue those in, but it gives it the illusion that it's all together. Now up here, see, we already have the pins in here. I didn't do that. All I did was put the clip itself. So bam, that's in. Now the top of the fender, again, there's, I think there's just a couple in here. What I'm thinking is, if I just jam this in there, give it a couple of tack welds, put on one of these tacky things on top with the supplied screws, and it'll look like the hood is pinned down. I might even just cut this right down. So it's like it's totally poser stuff. Do that both sides, and I got the lower fender on this one's pretty butchered, but see the pin's already there. So all I gotta do is jam it in, give it a kick, put the little outside piece on, pin in, and the fender is on. And then same thing over here. Put one in, tack weld it, put it on, and it'll look like the whole front end is pinned together, which, if you guys don't get it at this point, it's a joke. I call it the worst 57 Chevy, and it's maybe not the worst, because I realize places out there you can drive anything at all, just hang insurance on it. Here we have to go through some sort of inspections and stuff like that, so mechanically it'll have brakes and suspension and no rust and all that. But from the outside standpoint, it's going to look really, really rough. So that's what I like, and that's what we're going to carry on doing. So let's get the camera set up and the welder, and we'll see if we can finish off this look. Okay, so I put all these cell tappers there. So step one, since it really matters not how long this is, I want to cut it down. You know, when we take the fenders off later, it's not going to look ridiculous, right? That's all that really matters. So cut on the bench real quick. Perfecto. Get this a little bit more of a tighten now. The only thing I've learned with hood pins, so you have your little whatever washery kind of shiny piece, you don't want the pin going in over top of the screw. You know, it becomes an issue, so you want it offset. So just bear that in mind when you're welding a hood pin to your fender. So we're going to have, the hole's already drilled, so we'll just have it forward and back, and it'll be, well, it'll be good. So we'll get out our hood pin installer here. Whoops. Oh yeah. You know what? I probably shouldn't even touched it in the first place. And then I don't know where my long impact bit is. And since these screws are already wallered out, we're going to use cell tappers Murray gave me from a garage sale. Ouch, it's hot. Years ago. Perfect. Not really hot on the thumb there. Well, it's going to work out cherry. Pretty soon it'll rust into the natural patina. Well, I should have put it a little lower actually. So the pin looks like it's doing something. There we go. Does it look ridiculous? Yes. But was the hole already there? Also yes. So I'll bang that one out real quick. And I'll do the fender and then see if the bumpers are still not quite thawed out yet. And I do want to change the front wheels. Camaro wheels, those are just a gag. They're actually for this thing. I'm ready for the hate. Go. The hood pins everyone hates is in, the other fender's on now. I'm going to change the wheels. I know you're not going to like it. Trust me. But these wheels go back on the Camaro, which everybody liked, with the dog dishes. That's the ultimate goal with that car. Relax, internet, relax. These are a set of, they're rally wheels. I think, man, I burnt my thumb and it hurts. The rally wheels, I believe someone welded into Volkswagen hoops or something like that, which was a thing done back in the day maybe. And they're fine. And I may still run them because I got, like I said, I have a set of rallies I bought for the back, which I believe are the same spacing as those wheels. And I bought a set of exact same size tires. 295, 65, 15s are coming here next week. They're not cheap. So we'll have that, but I think instead of, I'm going to paint them black, have like some black steely style wheels, and then the front will run something different. Now, these are skinnies with trailer tires on them. This is your, I think it's your 165-80 15s or 165-85, something like that. So they're okay, but they're too short. They look like a little, I don't know, looks like the car has an overbite, which I don't much care for. So my buddy Murray, who I buy all sorts of wheels off of all the time, he bought these, and these were on the Camaro. Everybody hated them. I hear you. But I bought them, and they're taller. That's why I really wanted them. You can see the height difference, and ultimately, try 5 Chevys, I don't care who you are, 57, hard top, like a, you know, Joe Barry maybe, I forget anyways. Like a pro street or a drag and drive deal, they're hunkered down, they got big tires, and a lot of times they're on 17s up front, and I like that look. Plus we have disc brakes on the front, so you'll be able to see through, see the discs. Looks kind of neat. These stick out a little bit further, which I also hate about Tri-5 Chevys. Like, look how much gap there is, especially when you're running a real skinny tire. So bring it out, we'll maintain a skinny tire, keep the track width in the front looking good, and we get proper wheels back on the Camaro. So you can shift your hate to this car and start liking the Camaro again, right? Until we decide to switch them back. So let's go ahead and do this right quick, set the camera up, jack it up, swap tires, and then all I want to do, bumpers on. And we got to build something to hold the trim on the front bit here. And we got ourselves like a pretty nice 57 Chevrolet. Then we start working under the hood. I like it. It needs a front bumper. This is a rare time where I think it needs a front bumper. It needs slightly lower in the front, man. The only good thing about winter, snow on burns. Suck it down a little bit, make it look a little less goofy, but I think it's perfect. Hopefully it'll drop another inch or so. So I'm thinking once we put the radiator full of water, you know, heavy bumper on the front, you know, whatever else odds and ends go in there, we should be good. Danny's out here, so her More Schmoo channel, Saturday night live streams. Every second Saturday we do it, so that's happening right now. But I'm still working, so I'm gonna clean up in here, let the bumpers continue to melt. I wanna put the bumpers on tonight. I want to adjust the deck lid. I don't have any of the hinge stuff, so I think if I get it going forward, get it adjusted properly, we'll drill a couple holes in it, which you guys will love. Put 2 hood pins in the back, and then I think, oh, I still gotta do hood pins in the front. I need more hood pins. Just don't have enough. I might have a latch for the front. We'll see. But I want a hood pin it anyway, so I'll order some more or find some more, whatever I have to do, and kind of keep carrying on. But I'll let the batteries charge, and if you're on the live stream, you'll see us right away. Well, it's a new day. You guys had a full 24 hours to think about what you think about these old Rams. They're on it for now, so such is life. Last night I cleaned up a little bit in the garage, and I ended up putting hood pins in the deck lid just because it was easy. I had none of the stuff at the back, but I did make it fit. Look how good that fits. So worst case, we just got to weld up a couple holes and if I ever find a latch and stuff, but I'm missing all the mechanism. I don't have any stuff, and the show must go on. So now what we're going to do today, we're going to finish this off. I want to put the front bumper on, the back bumper on, kind of finish it, making it look like a car. That's where we're going to leave it. Then I can focus on underhood and maybe some exhaust. I don't really know what I want to do next, but honestly, I got to push back a little. I got to realign the lift, but this thing will be on a lift for the first time and maybe ever. But for sure, this thing was stripped apart in the 70s and 80s and left for dead in the field for many a year. So just keep that in mind. If you're not exactly happy with how it is, I understand, but it'll be back on the road shortly. Now, what I'm going to do here, these Tri-5 has all this ugly bracing and stuff like that, which I hate. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut all this crap off. Just use two brackets, front and back, to hold it on, and that'll be fine. I've done that on all of them, and I haven't ever had an issue. Yeah, they rattle around a little bit, but there might be a little wind noise in this thing. I'm not too sure. So let's get those chopped off, bolt it on, and see what it looks like. Okay, well, Danny's dressed for the outside inside. So you know me, bumpers on everything. So let's go ahead and jam this thing on. Unfortunately, there's a big oil spill right there. So, do you want to be the jack lady? Here. Pull that back your way so it's in the middle.
You need a magnet or something.
In the middle. Middle it. Thank you. Okay. Start cranking. Oh, I probably should have grabbed the bolts, eh? Oh, whatever. Okay, keep going. Let it rip. Shink, 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 shink.
I hope nobody can see that.
That was embarrassing for everybody. One, I need all of them.
I was getting them.
And the nuts.
Oh, and
Come on.
you mean
Come on.
these nuts?
And other washers, impact, wrench. Let's go. These people are paying good money for this content. No, it's right there. The impact.
Oh, I didn't know you needed this too.
And the wrench.
Oh my God, why did you take all this down there with you?
Because I wasn't thinking. Get her on the other side, quickly. Quickly. I want to hear the swishing. Okay, they saw that one for sure. Round 2, snow pants. Oh, got a bolt. Got it. I don't know why I'm doing this. You're the jack lady.
There's no saving them from your phone.
So I got the bumper on. This one is bent, but the deck lid's still open, so that's cool. I found some stuff. I have one taillight, the other one I'm missing. That's fine. I have the door, but I don't know if I have this piece, but I don't have any of the hinges, so we'll have to make our own. That'll be interesting. Over here, everything is there but one taillight. I might have one in the basement. They're left and right. They're kind of short on one side, long on the other, so I do have a couple of lefts, and obviously all the guts inside are completely garbage. And then I've been looking around, I have miscellaneous. This is like the light, license plate light piece with no lens, of course. And I have one, I don't know if I have another one, I might somewhere. This backup plate, or backup light back off, or block off plate. So I like those are kind of cool. And then I found one side piece with a little doohickey I need to fabricate. So yeah, it's coming along. A few more things in the back there. One taillight would make a big difference. Around front, this is, so this car is a 210, which is like the middle of the road. I don't know if this bumper is 210 or 150 or what, but they don't have the little Dagmeyer deals. I got to order a grill. I know a guy who has a gold one. I don't know if I want to go gold or silver. It's a real tough decision here with the Tri-5 community. But there you have it. So if you hate these wheels, just wait till you'll see what else I do with this thing. But wow, in the matter of working on this thing for a couple of videos, I guess 2-3 days, it has sure changed big time. Like, it really looks like a car. I have some headlight buckets. I got to go through and see what I got. So if I put headlight buckets, headlights, and the trim ring around it, and a grill in it, and I think I have a grill bar even. we'll kind of keep carrying on. Once we get down there, start wiring it. I think what I want to work on next is under the hood. I have to figure out how this LS motor is going to run. And yeah, kind of keep on keeping on. We'll get on the lift proper, we'll get it up, we'll do exhaust, hook the transmission up. We got to get the column kind of situated. Lots of little stuff to go, but honestly, I mean, a couple weeks, this thing might be able to run and drive on its own power in the snowstorm we're having right now. So thanks so much for watching. Please leave a comment below. I appreciate every single one of them, even the mean ones. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.